Okay.
When money realizes that it is in good hands, it wants to stay and multiply in those hands. And that is a quote by Idowu Koyan. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for showing up for the first time or the 360th time to the Profitable Photographer. And I'm excited about our guest today because she is a woman after my own heart, which is let's not just be creative, let's be financially prosperous and good stewards, and especially for people like many women who are not that comfortable uh, saying, I want to be wealthy. So, if you want any little support or big support, you can go to lucydumascoaching.com, Lucy with an I, and book 20 minutes and we can have a chat. All right, here is the story of Mycah Bain. She started her photography business 15 years ago with a deep love for storytelling through images. But over time, that passion expanded into building a business that truly makes money and changes lives. Today, she runs a multi six figure, multi photographer studio in Minneapolis. She has a team of 10 women and they capture weddings, portraits, and branding across the Twin Cities. And she believes that the world is better when more money is in the hands of women. I like that because financial freedom creates choice, opportunity, and impact. And that has taken her to 50 plus countries. Wow. I want to hear more about that. Supporting causes close to her heart and fuels her coaching work, helping other creative women build profitable, purpose driven businesses. So, hello, hello.
Hey, Lucy, this is so fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I love when someone I haven't met before reaches out and says, "Hey, I got some good stuff to share," uh, and then we get to share it out with the world. So,
Yeah.
just a little quick, how you got into photography uh, as a business or even as a passion.
Yes, I started with my interest in photography back in the pre-iPhone days. I was in college and I had plans to live in the Middle East one summer and then in Uganda and East Africa the following fall. So
Wow.
I figured that was a perfect chance to buy a camera, take a photography class, and things just escalated from there. When I was traveling and living abroad, I absolutely loved telling stories through photos and getting to know people. I really developed this I would say unreasonable confidence and thought that I surely would be the next National Geographic photographer. Then I moved back to the US and I was living in Santa Barbara, California at the time. Started assisting at weddings, and yeah, 15 years later, now I have, like you said, 10 women who work with me and have a super fun photography business here in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Wow. I mean, wow about going to 50 countries. What is that about? How do you see
I
women around
Yeah,
the world? What?
yeah, I just think the world is like so big, so beautiful and incredible, and there are so many people to meet and stories to hear. So I just love like in when I was studying, I double majored in religious studies and anthropology. So I just love to learn about like how people think, like what they believe, their cultural, what's culturally significant and important to them. And I also just find it very creatively fueling to like meet people, smell smells, like see, like touch these textures, like walk through new streets and hear sounds that you wouldn't hear at home. So that is just like a huge passion of mine and has been a massive priority, I guess obviously to have traveled to now 51 countries and counting. So that it just I think this is always going to be something that I absolutely love and continue to prioritize.
Mhm. Um, I don't know if you've heard of this, but there is a nonprofit in Uganda called Cameras for Girls. Have you heard about that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I do have podcast episode. You might want to check that out.
Oh, I will.
And the founder gets cameras in the hands of young women and teaches them photography. She's from Canada, teaches them photography and helps them figure out how to make money with it. And
Wow.
this is an area where it's really hard for women to find jobs at all. And so I have a feeling that will inspire you, or, you'll love hearing that story. All right.
Oh,
So, um, you were having a good business and then you pivoted to, I want to be highly profitable and I want to help others create wealth. So, how did you shift, or what had to change when you decided at that moment to do that?
yeah, I think probably the biggest shift was a mindset change just because I had gotten to the point where I was able to do the traveling I wanted, live in a home that I like. So I was feeling very privileged and grateful and like I felt like I kind of made it to the next step that I was hoping or dreaming of. And then I was thinking to myself, okay, there has to be more. Like I have to be able to expand this to other people. So I think the idea of creating jobs and opportunities for other women is super exciting for me. And that's really kind of like what keeps me motivated to continue to want to learn and grow and keep expanding the business. And even over the last year, we've made a lot of super exciting shifts. So now we're able to serve even more clients at like a higher level of service. I have, the time and energy to do the things that I'm truly the best at. And even, like we were talking about before we started recording, like even giving back to the community. Like this morning, I was speaking at a local high school in a business class. Like there is no way I would have done that 2 years ago because I was just so exhausted and like behind, like I was always feeling behind, even though I was never missing deadlines. It just felt like I was never could like crawl out of this mountain of endless to-dos. So I think that has been like one of my huge motivators. And I just truly believe that when women have money, then they have choices and they can make choices about what relationships they want to be in or leave. They get to make choices about a business they want to start or pivot. And they get to make choices about what they want to do like with the rest of their life, whether it's, have a family or travel or try a new hobby or host people or like whatever it is. I just think when women have money, they have choice and are also going to give it back to the community and the world.
I love that. Having supported myself for 40 plus years in this business, I just did it a step at a time. Um, what I would have liked was what you are passionate about, is someone helping me pivot from the idea of making a living to having wealth.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that. How did you, so the thing that's a little confusing in my brain, uh, and I believe you, is how did helping more people give you more time and money? I can see how running a business where you're not the only person and, you know, 2:30 in the morning trying to edit everything and all of that. But how does having more people earning money under your leadership and umbrella work for you to create the life you want?
Yeah, that's such a good question. And I think I have really been able to lean into the things that I do the best and that I love the most. And then the other stuff, I hire someone who does it better than me, who loves it more than I do. And the ripple effect keeps going because, yes, I truly feel that I'm living like my dream life and I am so thankful for it. And also I get super excited when I'm able to support my team. Like one of my lead photographers is going out of town for 2 weeks right now. So like the projects are going to the other photographers on the team. And like one of my behind the scenes person just experienced a death in the family. So I told her, hey, take the time you need, or like let me know when you are ready to come back. These types of things um, just feel very exciting and expansive to me because I'm like, if I'm creating a business where I get to do fun stuff that I want and I get to show up for my family in their times of need, but people who are working with me don't get to do the same, like to me, that's not a win. So
Hmm.
I think I truly believe the business is winning when like the whole team is winning. And then that just has like a clear ripple effect to like our clients as well. Cause we're now delivering things faster. I'm able to really like dive in if there's, anytime there's like an issue or any kind of like miscommunication or hey, we could have done that better. Like I truly feel like I have the time and energy to dive in and make those little tiny like 1% tweaks every single day. um and that just feels so exciting because like I said, even a year or two ago, if I would have, if there was, oh, this little thing, like today I found two links on my website that were broken, 2 years ago I'd have been like, oh my gosh, like this is so overwhelming. But now I'm thinking, okay, great. I will send this to my assistant and she will fix it when she starts working today. That's wonderful. And you know what? I don't have to worry. Is that great? No. But guess what? I love the fact that I'm not saving lives with my job. Like I get to do something really special and amazing. I'm not doing open heart surgery. And
Right.
I think reminding myself that, there are very few actual like urgent or emergency type things in my line of work. And to me, that's a huge blessing.
I, so I want to summarize what I heard, but first I need to interject um, that one of the things that helped me that I connect with what you just said, because I can get wound up like, there's a tiger and I get in a panic and I learn to coach myself by saying it's not brain surgery. So I like this. You're like, it's not hard surgery. Now, funny story. I have had brain surgery and
Wow.
uh and I got through that too. So,
Wow.
we deal with that's a whole other story. Um, but anyway, so what I hear you saying, besides the heart open heart surgery, is that by having a team who are doing what they do best, then you actually have more time, more peace, more ability to focus on what really matters in the moment that you can either delegate or you can do yourself.
Hmm.
Am I right on that?
Yes, that's totally it. Yeah.
I'm thinking like if someone wants to open a restaurant, um, but they're going to do everything themselves, how successful is that going to be? And how stressful would
Oh,
that
my word.
be? So
Totally.
there's a million businesses besides photography businesses that it's just assumed that you're going to hire people to help you. You're going to have managers, you're going to have
Hmm.
worker bees, you're going to have accountants, you're going to have staff. So I love that you've had that like aha awareness that in order to be more profitable and have the lifestyle you want, you need help. Am I right? Am I on track?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think like really anyone who wants to take the next step in their business, like it does not have to be that complicated. Like a hire that I made this past year that I think any business owner could seriously consider is I currently have a 5 hour a week personal assistant. She comes to my home. She does anything from like writing. Like I love personal touches. So she'll,
Mhm.
like write notes or like deliver gifts to clients. She'll help me like, yeah, that's like a kind of a big project she'll do, but she'll also fold my clothes and put them away.
Mhm.
She'll do some meal prep. She'll run some errands for me. And that could be whatever you want it to be. Like I cannot tell you why putting away clothes is the hardest thing on my, like I would rather start a new business than put away my laundry. Like, does that make sense? No. I understand that. However, I also know myself. I've lived in my body my whole life, and I know that that is just like a paralyzing thing for me. So instead of just always feeling bad every time I like go to my bedroom and I see this pile of my clean clothes that I successfully washed, but I haven't put them away, like instead of just always feeling bad about that, why don't I do something slightly different so she can get that done in half an hour, an hour, and then I can be in my office getting stuff done. And then at the end of the day, my room is clean.
Yeah.
Beautiful. What a gift. And this doesn't like it's not anything crazy, but it is like energy wise so like I don't even know. I just feel like so refreshed knowing she's coming and the things that she's able to check off the to-do
I
list.
love that story and I fully relate to it completely. Uh, One of the first things when I'm coaching, I know you're a coach as well, which I don't know if we mentioned that in your intro, um, is to get, especially if it's moms
Hmm.
or stay-at-home dads, get a housekeeper to clean your house, even if it's just once a week.
Hmm.
Deep clean your house. And for me, I always, I don't, I don't have my housekeeper as often because um, I do more online work than in person now. But when it was weekly, she absolutely put away the clothes, put away the dishes, things that just are so that have that icky energy around it for reasons, we can talk to a therapist about. But yeah, and then the second thing I I did, it just like you, is so you had so I always recommend two people to start. And the second one is sort of the Girl Friday to run errands, to do data entry. I sell a lot of wall art, as you can see in the
Yeah,
background. Um, Open the boxes and check in the orders and cut up the boxes and put them in recycle and
yeah,
just some of that stuff that like if we figure out our hourly wage for our time, um, we cannot not afford it. Do you know what I mean?
totally. And I think it's, partially it's the hourly wage, but I would add on to that it's also like the energy drain
Oh
because,
yeah.
like we all know the things that like suck up our energy and then the ones that really give us energy. So instead of letting those under energy sucking things like take all of your good juices and then by the end of the day you don't even have time to do the thing that you're the best at and is
Right.
actually going to like move the needle in your business. Like again, you're only providing a disservice to yourself but also your clients because you're feeling worse. And then also like this person has a 5 hour a week job and it's a perfect supplement for her right now while she's in grad school. Like again, why would I not provide that opportunity for
Hmm.
her, for myself, and also my business, which is then
Right.
better serving my
Right.
clients.
And this can be a very lonely business if we're in the do it ourselves. So I've always just enjoyed the company. When,
Yeah,
um, so I think one of the biggest hurdles in the notes that you sent me, I think you're really on target with this, is the mindset of deserving wealth, thinking wealth is a good goal in a business. All of that. Tell me about that block to embracing the idea of creating wealth.
yeah, I think it was I mean it really continues to be a journey that I'll be on, I'm sure, for my entire life. And I think from the beginning I felt that I shouldn't want more because like I said, I have everything I need. I'm super privileged. I'm very lucky. Like I anything I can need, I have. Like a roof over my head, never have to worry about food, like can
Hmm.
turn the heat on in May, even though which makes no sense here in Minneapolis, but like all of my needs are taken care of. But also generosity has always been a super huge priority for me, and that was a huge priority in the family I grew up with. And my parents really instilled that value in me. And I remember I had a friend. This was probably almost 10 years ago now, but she understood my background and kind of my faith background as well. And she pushed back on me and said, "Hey, when you're making less money, like you have less money to give away. When you
Hmm.
make more money, you can give away more money and support organizations that matter to you. Like be generous with people in your circles. Like do the things that you want to do. Like even these last couple of days, I watched my brother's three little kids for 3 days plus nights. So they're on an anniversary trip.
Mhm.
And again, I was able to do that and just like pause my work and say, yeah, I want to hang out with my niece and nephews because these systems are in place. So again, that's just like another example of past choices being able, like, coming through and supporting me to continue to be more generous. So I think when I think about it in that way, it feels more exciting to build wealth. Like everyone has their own motivators. I know what mine are. Like I want to provide options for myself and for future generations, and I want to travel as much as I want with whoever I want to wherever I want. And I want to give back to organizations that are doing meaningful work and provide amazing jobs for women who work with me. So I think being super clear on my why works for me. I think if people want to just like have money to fill their bank account, or I don't know, for like no real purpose or meaning, I think that would be a little bit harder. So I think getting clear on the why, even if the why is, extremely different than mine, I think that's going to help you like get clear on getting there.
So I'm guessing when you coach people, uh, just like I've run into this a lot, there are those money blocks.
Yeah.
Uh, do you have like some like little bullet points that you can share with people that are listening about how they can dig into their um, first of all their blocks and then how they can open up that channel for wealth? Do you have some structure strategy
Yeah.
you can share?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I have any like quick tip 5 minutes. You're going to be cured and
Yeah.
have the genius, full abundance mindset. Because
Oh,
if
gee.
someone had that,
Sorry, I
if
thought
someone
you'd
had
be
that,
capable
yeah.
of that. But anyway, what are some of the steps? What are the things to look at?
Yeah, I think first is starting kind of going backwards and getting clear on like what do you believe about money. So just you can journal it down. I'm not much of a journaler. I'm more of a talker. So you can like audio record yourself on your phone on a walk, and just talk through like what what do you believe about money? Why? Like what does it mean to you when you have it, when you don't have it? Like what would be like what would be enough? And I think for a lot of people there is
Mhm.
no real such thing. So
Mhm.
I think getting clear on why, and then kind of as you're doing that, like figuring out like okay, what are the blocks? Like what do I believe about people with money? Are they good?
Mhm.
Are they bad? Like why? Like what do I believe about someone who has a certain house, a certain car, a certain status symbol, a certain experience of something that maybe you're judging because you want it or you think it's ridiculous or whatever is the thing. And then once you kind of start uncovering these money stories and your thoughts around them, then I think you can kind of like morph into figure out, okay, what would you want your money story to be? What like, and then figuring out maybe some like phrases or mantras or something that you can like just slowly start reprogramming your brain. So I can share like a couple of small things that have been helpful for me, and
Yeah, yeah, please.
take them or leave them. Um, but one, for example, is every single time I make money of any kind, like it could even be like me finding like a quarter on the sidewalk, or getting a deposit or a huge payment or whatever it is, I always take a moment to celebrate. So like
Mhm.
literally I could just say, ah, yes, or like thank you, or like a 30-second dance break or something just to like appreciate it.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Sorry. Got a little sneezy here.
and
Okay,
yeah, I
so
think just taking a moment of gratitude is
yeah.
is super helpful. And I think I've also now expanded that recently where like, it was the first of the month doing payroll, reminding myself, okay, I am thankful. This is so exciting that I get to like send these payments out to these people who did this amazing work and I'm able to like spend that money.
Hmm.
Um, so I think that has been another thing, just the gratitude. And then another thing I like to do is to set very specific goals, whether it's around like money or any other type of like business growth or goal or something. So, like when I
Hmm.
hire the next person or when I book X number of this type of session or whatever, set a goal and then also set like a reward. Like I am, my friends know I am huge into bribing myself. Like I just think it is
Oh,
so
I
fun.
love
Like
that term,
I
bribe
am known
yourself.
for, yeah, like I'm known for buying a cake to celebrate like any milestone. Um, like what else? Oh, I mean, I really like clothes and fashion. So
Uh,
like when I hit a goal, I'll like buy a new outfit or like a new little like matching workout set. Or it could even be something like a tiny little, but I don't just buy these things randomly. Like I'll say, okay, when this happens, then I get to buy XYZ. So like I have this really cute matching workout set that I bought last summer after hitting a business goal. And now every time I wear it, I also get to remember the feeling of like coming through for myself and
yeah,
like it's just this reminder that like yes you can do it and you also did it. So I think a lot of times people in business are just like so motivated, they're sprinting and they forget to slow down and just like be grateful to whatever, like however you view the world, like God, the universe, but also to your clients, also to yourself. Like just taking in those moments of gratitude I think is essential.
I love that. I love that. I have a mantra, but I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. So, do you have a mantra or two that, especially if you're not feeling that prosperous or just something that you do or say or have out, in a little card around your house?
I should have like a certain phrase sitting around. I think like I really just leaned into like gratitude and
Got
just
it.
reminding myself that like I get to create opportunities. So maybe that's the one.
Yeah.
Like when I'm maybe less motivated to do something, it's like no, I'm
Yeah.
creating these opportunities. Yeah.
So mine is money comes to me easily and with love.
Ooh,
And I have had a lot of those blocks thinking rich people, you know, I was judgy.
same.
And I've had, because I figured out that you and I both believe in manifesting and power of
Yeah.
attraction and all that. So, and I've told this story before, but there was a season where people were not booking weddings a lot, and there were
Mhm.
a lot of photographers available. I did a bridal show, and 1 2 week period, I had like 4 or 5 really great um, consultations to book me, and none of them did.
Ugh,
And there was all this conversation with my fellow local photographers. Oh, it's bad. Nobody's booking. Da, da, da. And then the light went on. I don't know if I'd read this in a book or I just remembered I had this tool. And I just started repeating, money comes to me easily and with love. I wrote it down so I saw it when I brushed my teeth or sitting on the couch. When and the week I started doing that, I had 4 consultations. And especially once I saw that they'd parked and they were coming up the walkway, I think money comes to me easily and with love. And I booked all 4. And
I love that.
only thing I changed was that mindset. And the with love helps me overcome some of the I don't deserve
Hmm.
money,
Hmm.
little, or the fear of prosperity or, whatever are those personal money blocks. So
Yeah.
there's a really great book called Creating Money that I've mentioned before and recently on a different with a different guest. And it's got at the back of the book, it's got a lot of cool exercises and
Hmm.
things. But yeah, I love the gratitude. I love the when I achieve this, then I'll reward myself with that.
Yes.
Um, yeah, and Uh, okay, so at this age, because see, I've got a little gray hair,
I
and
love that.
it means that over this 40 plus years, um, there's been the need to prepare for retirement.
Hmm.
So when do you think people should, or do you think people should be mindful of that, start preparing for that? Is that one of the reasons why having what we call wealth, which if I don't know your definition, maybe you want to share with that. So let's talk about long range goals and wealth and all of that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I think for to start, obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, tax person, et cetera, et cetera. However, I wish that I would have started even younger. Like I have some siblings who are much, much younger than me. And I'm planning to sit down with them soon and kind of say, hey, here are some numbers. This is the type of retirement account I would suggest opening at literally 20 years old, which I know is very young, but the sooner you put it in, the better. And I think along with that, like I don't think that I want to be, I love what I do, but I don't think I want to work full time until I'm 65 and then retire. I I really want to live my life along the way. And I think I just have this very realistic view that we don't know how long we have. I hope that I have many decades ahead. However, that is not promised. And I think it's also kind of crazy that people live like they are going to die at whatever is their ideal age. Because again, who said that? Literally nobody.
Right.
Um, so yeah, all that to say, I think yes, planning for retirement makes sense, but I think also just getting really clear on like what are your long-term goals, what are your short-term goals, and how can you like live the life that you love along the way and not save to live later. I again, I just truly don't think that makes any sense. So for me, what that's looked like is I have a couple investment properties. I have a solo 401k. I have a Roth IRA. I have, some other like HSA. All the little acronyms and whatever.
Mhm.
So I have different things set up to be like accumulating. I own my home, and so I think like having money like diversified has been very important and helpful for me. And like really, I would like to continue growing things at a very fast pace now, so I don't feel like I ever am like literally having to do X number of hours per day or per week. So I think, yeah, I don't know if that's necessarily answering your question, but I
Well,
think like having real, honest conversations about money, like seeking in professionals, there's so many amazing resources. Like one money person I really like is Ramit Sethi. He has like a books, podcast. Like I think he's a great resource. There's like infinite people. You have to just kind of see who you're drawn to and who you feel like is giving like real, actually legitimate advice.
mhm.
And even when like talking to financial advisors, like asking the hard questions, like finding out what do they gain from when you do whatever, like even getting into the details. Like I don't think it's a great idea to pay someone like a percentage base. I think paying them like a flat fee or like hourly rate for financial advice makes a lot more sense, because when you're giving them a percentage, like over time, you're going to be giving away a lot of your money.
Right.
So
Okay,
I
so
don't
what
know.
I'm
Yeah.
hearing is it almost the question almost like you're so natural at saving, investing, being a good steward of your money, realizing there may be a time in the future unknown where you don't want to work or you don't want to work as much, but also
Mhm.
not to like, I'm really glad I've traveled a lot in my life because I've got some knee challenges now. I might need to have knee surgery. I can't just fly to, and also I used to be able to sleep anywhere. and and anyway, as we mature, uh, some travel might get more challenging. Some of my friends are still going all over the world. But what I'm hearing is you're planning for the future, managing your money, learning about what to do, taking action, uh, without maybe even realizing that a lot of people are just living day to day or whatever comes in. They think, woohoo, I'm going to celebrate and not save or just put money in a savings account. Like if I would say what I hear you advocating is to get smart, get educated
Yes.
about money. And like one of my regrets early in my life before or I bought a condo and then I bought this house. And man, I wish I hadn't sold that condo because I'd be getting like clear $2,000 to $3,000 a month uh, from that property. And if
Mhm,
I'd hired a property manager rather than doing it myself, I tried to rent for a while. So, yeah. Now, this is just a little personal. I have an amazing financial advisor, and he does get commission
mhm,
on, but he's super ethical. He's
mhm.
become a friend. And what he said is, if I'm going to earn some money by helping you, I'm going to be more motivated to pay attention uh,
True.
on a daily basis. So I used to believe fee only until this wonderful person showed up in my life, and like anyway, so
Yeah.
there's, but anyway, we want to be smart about our money, and it gets here sooner than you think. And the luxury of having the resources to work or not work, to travel or don't travel, to
Mhm.
remodel or don't, feeling more comfortable that if I needed long-term care, um, I can I can last for a good long while. Now, I wish I'd have started paying into long-term as a single person, long-term care. But the one of the things I think about money is that it expands to what we request of it.
Mm,
So if we start putting money in IRAs and Roths and those things, um, we're not going to have less money. Universe is just going to say, "Oh, okay. Well, you need that in your life too." If we're in that flow that
yeah.
I'm hearing you're in that flow in life.
Hmm.
Quick thoughts about that before we wrap up, because I know you need to have a have a
Yeah.
time to jump
No,
off.
yeah, I think it totally makes sense. And I think when you just set these things as like I kind of like set it and forget it. Like I have a certain amount of money that goes out every single month automatically into my retirement account. Same thing with like donating to some organizations. It just
Mhm.
it just goes out every single month. I don't make a decision. I decide once. So I think I'm a huge advocate of like deciding once. And it does take more time and energy to think through these things. But like you were talking about this idea of like sharing, saving, and spending, like I think so many people think that they're gonna share and save when XYZ happens. But it's like,
Right.
no, you have to do that now. And again, like credit to my parents, because even when I was super young and they were giving us $3 a week for allowance, it was like
Mhm.
$1 was to share, $1 was to save, and $1 was to spend.
I
And
love it.
like I'm not currently splitting up my income 30, in thirds. However, honestly, that would be like a great goal to work towards because I don't know. I just think that's like very, very exciting and also just is much more like holistic and big picture.
Right, right. And because money's not an actual thing, it's a concept.
Mhm,
It's a exchange for energy. And I found there was a time when I consciously tithed to places where I was spiritually fed.
mhm,
And um, I figured out that if I did 3%,
mhm,
which, they at churches and things, they talk about tithing as 10%. But
mhm,
because generally I would keep about a third of what came in,
mhm.
then I would figure out what 3% was of every dollar. And when I started putting this into these spiritual areas on a regular basis, I had so much more of my own income. It,
Yeah,
it was like it was like planting seeds in a garden, and my
yeah,
harvest was bigger than if I hadn't done it, or I'd done it not consciously. So yeah, money's such a good topic. I just love this, and it's a form of freedom, and we never know what's going
absolutely.
to happen. But well,
Yeah,
I know you're short on time, so I have two questions.
perfect.
Um, so I know that you have a gift that you want to offer my
Yes,
listeners.
yes, I have speaking of money, a little money freebie. So micahbain.com/money. And there's just some things to kind of like think through as you're, reevaluating and thinking through your money mindset. And along with that, I would love to be here to support you and just be a resource into, diving into all things like money and business. So the first six people who mentioned Lucy, I would love to do a one-on-one chat with you, just as like my gift to talk things through. And even if you're listening to this in a long time, reach out anyway, because I might open up more of these later, just
Great.
because this has been so fun and I want to serve Lucy and her community well.
I love it. I love it. All right. And Mycah Bain, is that the best place to get in touch with you? MycahBain.com.
Yep, there is great. Instagram is great. Yes, I would
All
love
the
to hear from
places.
you.
Good. Okay. So I always open up the floor to have a parting thought, either something that you might be like, oh, I wish I had mentioned that, or just something you want to leave us with. So what do you got?
Yeah, I would say when it comes to money, instead of kind of shutting down or getting overwhelmed, I would just start small. Start with like one moment of gratitude the next time you receive a payment, one moment of gratitude the next time you're able to make a payment, pay a bill, and then slowly over time make little shifts and adjustments that are towards your long-term goals, whatever those are. So yeah, I think like truly anything is possible, and I want each of your listeners to really believe that and take their next right step.
Great. Well, I'm so happy that I got to know you a bit and that you reached out to me to be on the show. And I know that my listeners around the world are having a little happy dance too. Yay, that was a great interview. I'm so glad Mycah was on it. So thank you, thank you, thank you for being such an amazing guest.
Thank you, Lucy, and enjoy beautiful sunny San Diego for me.
Okie dokie. Now I'm trying to figure out how to pause my record. There we go. I just love when women are embracing their right to be successful and financially prosperous and all those things and travel and create the life that we want. I love when men do that too, of course. But here's a quick little wrap up. Let's see. So she talked about how um, changing our mindset to how we run our businesses is a good first start. And the mindset that she changed was the idea that she had to do everything herself. And so she has 10 people that work in her company, and that means she gets to financially help 10 people in their lives. And she also gets to have help with the things that other people can do better or faster, or that she just doesn't want to do. Um, and we talked about creating wealth. And she said generosity is one of her core values because, and I used to feel this too, like, why do you need more money if you've got enough? But the more money we have, the more freedom we have to help other people. So I love that. And then I asked her about some of the ways that we can kind of unblock ourselves. And she said, first, we need to go back and look at what we believe about money, messages that we got, um, what the blocks are, and then help heal those. Uh, I like this. She said, we want to ask ourselves, what would I want my money story to be? So, writing it as a story. Um, and then gratitude for even just finding a quarter. Now, if I drop coins, I don't pick them up because I hope somebody's going to pick it up and feel like grateful, whether they need the money or not. Um, I like accidentally dropping coins. She suggests setting specific goals. So bribe ourselves. When I reach this, and it could be a goal that's about finding a new housekeeper. It doesn't have to be money, but um, celebrating our our achievements in a way that are like we've set this goal. And then we talked about looking at things both short term and long term, and to be a good steward of money, wealth, whatever that definition is for you, doesn't come by accident. There's steps, there's financial decisions, there's investments, there's savings, there's so many things that we can do that will create um, the stability and income and long-term goals. So getting educated about that. So that's it for now, and I would love to chat with you. I do, if you go to lucydumascoaching.com, I've got my 10 Big Ideas for Marketing in the Real World ebook I'd love for you to have. And there's a second little gift there too if you fish around. So until next time, see you later.